What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love Island. I'm kidding. So we're hitting it. We're hitting it. Sorry. After the break, like the music was like literally banging. So the first thing that came into my head was Love Island. So we're back. This isn't Love Island. This is VCT Game Changers Academy. I'm here with Tala, and today we are watching Dart Monkeys versus Tactical Throwers. Dart Monkeys, of which took the first map in a very, very dominant fashion. Tala.
Well, yeah, I would call a 13-4 a little bit dominant, yeah, but it was their map book pick, so if they weren't planning to dominate, maybe they shouldn't have picked it.
That's, yeah. I feel like next time for future reference, it's definitely going to be a bannable offense. You know, sure, let's get that out of here really quick. But this was the first time, actually, that Tac Throwers and Dart Monkeys came together, so it makes a little bit of sense as to why, you know, it wasn't the first ban inside of the map pool.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the reasons that could be that Fracture wasn't banned, since it is such a strong map for Dart Monkeys. And I think it also is the fact that because sometimes you will ban the enemy team's worst picks, or sometimes you play a map so badly you're thinking, okay, we absolutely cannot play this at all, so we are going to ban this map for our own comfort. It's a matter of whether or not you want to counter strat the other team or make sure that you're on your best game. But now we are headed into Ascent, and this is Tactical Thrower's own map pick, so I'm hoping to see a lot more resistance for them.
I'm expecting it as well. I think with the map pick being Tac Throwers side, they definitely are going to pick a map that they feel most comfortable competing with, of course. But I think as well, something that is going to be nice is seeing that KO come in for Dart Monkeys, which is something that I of course, I mean, I expect this on Ascent, but it feels like the KO has been kind of run out. Maybe not, maybe that's just in my own head, but I think it's going to be hard to combat the KO. I mean, to combat the Astra with the KO in general, because the Astra can be anywhere on the map realistically, and the smokes will still be somewhat troublesome, but knowing Kurosu, I don't think the smokes really matter for a team like this one and as aggressive as this one as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the team that Dart Monkeys puts together, despite the changes, they are still just as aggressive as they were before. You do see some role changes here, though. You see that Autumn has instead gone onto the Sentinel, and usually I think we see Dart Monkeys play the Chamber here, or at least with their own old team comp they did, and they wouldn't have anyone on the Duelist. But I think adding Kurosu to this roster, being someone who is that Duelist main, and only very occasionally playing Chamber, adds to a lot to their aggression, and instead of them playing for the defensive rounds, which I felt was a little bit stale for their play style, they have a Killjoy who can be played a little bit more aggressively as well, using the turret to peak angles and using the lockdown for the fast retakes, rather than the Chamber, who while does get that free teleport and the rendezvous outside once you get that early engagement, doesn't always confirm the kills, but Killjoy, damaging utility, always has that little bit of extra oomph behind her kit, which is really nice to see.
I do believe the Astra's gonna with the gravitational pull is really going to combat Kurosu's aggressiveness, but you know, also is going to be really hard to kind of hold these players back at the same time if we can see Summertime get some really, really good suppressions through. But already starting off, it seems like the B side is going to be the biggest hit here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of aggression looking towards the B site right now. And it seems like they're going to be starting off with some mid control as well. Ooh, it's Satyr.
Yeah, already Satyr getting a 2K is going to be huge. But moving on to the site and kind of digressing here, EOS tries to find one of their own down inside of Boathouse. And a skill some more, right? A flash out. Summertime manages to flash himself, but only for a split second. It's up to 1, and it's Autumn left alive.
Autumn doesn't have too much util, just has that singular nanostorm that's just been expended. So 1v3 situation, but good repositioning, Gompers.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Around the back, Autumn knows that they're possibly going to be waiting for her, but now knowing that they're not defusing. I was a little bit scared. I don't know if that's the best situation to walk up with your knife, but it's okay. A right click would work out best.
Oh!
The fusel doesn't come through. Autumn knows this now because it's been way too much time. So is it half, though? And these are one of the things that you can't necessarily know and expect. They heard the walking come through.
Ooh.
Still not necessarily knowing if it's halfway or not, the defusal coming down. I don't think Autumn understands that this is going to be dire. No, but still not enough time. Doesn't matter, and it's not enough.
Ooh, that was so well played by Autumn. 1v3 situation, repositions onto the lane so quietly. They don't expect the swing out because they thought that she was on site, and then she is able to find the second, even though that I felt like that might have been a little bit more of a scuffed fight. But Autumn every single time kept them guessing, didn't know if she was going to come from lane or from stairs, and even had the read into the false star that Starry placed earlier, even though might have been a nebula, to block it off. Thought about walking through it, but then backed off quickly so she wasn't caught with her pants down. And that was just really nicely played from Dart Monkeys and Autumn specifically to get that first round under their belt. And now they're looking at a buy up and a possible attack timeout because Autumn looks like she's ping spiking pretty hard. 238 ping, y'all. That's how I look on Texas servers.
Yeah, but all good in due time. Still, regardless, even with the ping differential, they still managed to clutch things up pretty heavily. Autumn stalling for time there and actually kind of repositioned themselves was a very, very good play.
I really like that play from Autumn, definitely. And now looking into this next round, it was really good early though. Tac throwers definitely looked like what it had to take. It was just one of those instances of that player getting their ones and really kind of outshining the entirety of that server in that moment of time. But you can't always rely on that. You have to go for the set plays sometimes, and Tactical Throwers definitely had what it takes with that 3 stack in Garden specifically to gain that early mid control from tiles and taking down a lot of players. Satyr with the early 2k as well.
Yeah, still waiting for something to come down. But the Ares and the Vandal, this is interesting because it's not like the Spectre buys that you're used to. It is literally like they're playing for that third round. They're buying for the third round as well to be able to clutch things up and possibly take that 0-3, but not sure if things
you can tell that they really want to get that early lead.
the 3 Vandals on the board. It feels pretty evident right now.
This feels like a little bit of overkill for the second round. But I mean, I guess since you do win, you get the spike down. You didn't get that many kills on everyone, but I mean, having the extra firepower, I think they're looking to contest mid with this is what we're really looking at here, because they want to be able to try and look across mid from top cat to bottom mid and just be able to take the long range engagements, which is something you can't really do with the Spectres. And I think they find themselves to rely a little bit more on the Vandal for that tap fire and the burst spray instead of just full running with the Spectre or Stinger like you can do. But maybe we'll see a Stinger. You know, I kind of think the Stinger meta is entertaining, even though it's really annoying if you're playing against it.
It is entertaining. It's you know, I still don't play with the Stinger, and I don't think I will ever in my life.
Aw, come on. You gotta conform.
I can't. I can't.
You can't? You can't do it?
If I could, I would. Trust me. I would. It physically hurts. I physically... I gag. Every time. If I had the choice of pulling a Classic or a Stinger, I wouldn't even question it. I'm being honest.
You see a Stinger on the ground and you're like, no, I can't.
I literally would say, like, if my team was yelling at me, there's a Stinger on the floor. I know. I'm fully aware.
You're aware.
I am fully aware.
Do not put that thing anywhere near me.
Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's okay.
It happens.
It's understandable. You drop the spike from time to time. You drop your kids from time to time. You know?
What? Converse, you have kids?
No! No! Guys, but here's the real... We need to stop with these beauty standards. I can't look like a cat girl, physically.
You can't?
I know. And it's unbelievable that this is a beauty standard. I wish I was a cat girl. Trust me, I do. But it just doesn't work that way.
I'm looking around trying to figure out if I have cat ears lying around somewhere. I don't think I do.
Guys.
I'm sorry.
like, guys, please. I understand that Tanner Metro met your expectations, but please don't put that on me.
You mean Tanner Meowtro?
Tanner
Metro?
Sorry, my bad. I forgot one was more relevant than the other.
Yeah, exactly. It's Tanner Meowtro, guys.
That's as real as we're gonna get here on GCA. Like, totally honest with you guys.
Oh my gosh. Well, seems like we're going to see Tactical Throwers go for an aggressive mid play, while Dart Monkeys is just kind of sitting pretty. Sitting pretty.
Yeah, everybody looking very beautiful.
Real
right
nice.
Now. Yeah,
mighty
real
fine.
nice. We sound a little weird right now, but that's okay.
Oh, we're watching Avery hold an angle. I don't know what to.
Oh yes, I love the way you look up.
Ooh. Oh no!
Oh no. Okay, this is actually very, very rough. Just completely flown over.
Oh no. Satyr, Sabrosa. It's even a race player. And Kaya's actually able to get 2 off the fact they were distracted by Satyr. But I mean, player advantage, I guess.
30 seconds left.
That's okay. Up to 1, but honestly, with the scenario that we're seeing here, 29 health off of Avery, I think this is very, very viable. Avery's gonna try to get themselves in first. A smoke to clear things up and a flank around the back. I don't think they're expecting this one.
10 seconds left.
Well, they got the spike down. I mean, Avery is low, and Starry's also got a Guardian in her hands now. So this is a little bit of a suspicious, dicey situation, I would say. They have that dark cover thrown out. Grimoire and Avery, can they do it?
One enemy
1v2.
remaining.
Oh no. 1v1.
Oh man, this is hard. Sorry though. I said it before. Maybe the fact that they were 26 health would help, and it did. 1v1 situation around the back. You don't even expect this one.
Oh. I didn't even see Grimoire go for that teleport to stairs, wrapping all the way around. That was such a smart play with the paranoia. But I mean, still, it's such huge economic damage, right? That was just incredibly expensive for Dart Monkeys. And Tac Throwers only had pistols in that round, and they were able to pick up free guns. That made it seem like it was so close there. And that was such a huge strategy for Tactical Throwers because they use the nebulas to smoke off both tiles and top cat. And you don't expect the players to be repositioning there and going for that mid control, but when you have such short range guns, then you really want to get in as close of corners as possible. It started off well for Dart Monkeys, but Tac Throwers completely turned that around. And now Dart Monkeys, they have some stingers in the hands and a singular Guardian that Grimoire had carried over from the round previous.
2 stingers. My oh my. I'm living the dream right now. This is going in the logs. This is going in the logs.
You're in your dreams?
It's like not in a dream log. Like this is going in a physical log.
Yeah?
Yeah.
like a journal? You're gonna write this one down?
No, like a piece of wood. A big piece of log.
Oh, that's what you meant by log.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this another tech pause?
Listen, once the tag it gets a little crazy in here. I gotta be honest with you. It's like drinking 10 pounds of Red Bull. It's insane.
Oh, you measure your Red Bull by the pounds.
Yeah, by the pounds.
Yeah, that's how I measure my drink too. I'm gonna drink 10 pounds of water today. How are we feeling?
What if that was like an actual viable measurement? Like the 10 pounders, like
you gotta get yourself a digital scale, put the glass on, and you're gonna be like, okay, gotta reset now. Measure all the water. Oh, this is about 10 milligrams of water.
You know, I don't even know what I'm very bad at math, so I don't even know what those are. How many pounds does it? Wait, okay, real question.
Pounds is the imperial system. I do not.
how many pounds does it take to get to how many liters does it take to get to a pound? Let me know.
That's a great question. Hey, golfers, would you like 2.5 pounds of water instead of saying like, hey, would you like a glass of water? Are you
Okay.
looking it up right now?
Yeah, I am. It's 1 liter for 2.2 pounds. So how?
Are you asking me a math question on stream right now?
Listen, I have not done math class in God knows how long. I dropped out of college and I was like, smartest I need to be. I'm good. And then my mind just slowly deteriorated afterwards. I had to start reading books because I genuinely could not read anything. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
I'm still in college, but I still have not taken a single math class. I don't know how to do calculus.
Like, who does? That's a dumb question. There's probably going to be some chatters saying, like, Compers, you got to stop. And I will.
Here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, let's see. Next round, how does this go? Dart Monkeys, this is supposed to be their bonus, but not much of one since they rebought. And Tac Throwers, this is their buy-up. They have full rifles. And we're looking at early aggression in mid. Kurosu already up to pizza. On the other side, looking to re-aggression onto A, actually.
Yeah, working their way up. And this is good, actually. Avery. I know where that's going. Okay. All the way in the back of sight, which is good, but we're going to be able to see a lockdown come in full force and back these players off from Tac Throwers.
This is good from Dart Monkeys in order to get themselves into the site. This early plant as well on the front of Dice, actually backing away from Generator. I like that play to be able to get it more open plant, and the paranoia as well. Avery nets themselves a kill. Later though, answering back on this.
Oh! Okay. 3-2. Seder, very nice. Tac Throwers might actually be able to put themselves on the board, and we know that the investment for the Vandals was big here. But will they be able to clutch things up? Maybe not. There's the one. The second quite possibly comes through, and it's up to Kurosu to be able to take the last. But no.
Oh no!
If they just hit the one headshot, it would have been done.
Kurosu gets the kills, but unfortunately not able to get the round. Tac Throwers, however, they can buy up this round, and Kurosu looking not bad on the economy. Tac Throwers losing every single one of their players means a lot of hash shields that we're seeing on this scoreboard right now. Not the worst round for Dart Monkeys at all, but also the fact Kurosu had to actually expend the Blade Storm as well, so they might be looking at a little dicey for the ecos. Kurosu's been able to get themselves a lot of kills though pretty quickly and just pick up those frags, so it's not going to be a hard ordeal for them to get that ultimate back up. But now Grimoire on the lurk. This is hard. Not sure if they spotted someone there though. I think they did. They both spotted each other.
Yeah, probably too, though. Oh, Kurosu.
What?
But that was still beautiful. I don't know how they managed that. I think they knew Summertime was going to hit that pop flash, but I don't think they expected two players to be hiding within the market.
That was a really nice shot there. The Tac Throwers, that's a really easy gun to recover for them.
What's not going to be recoverable is the lives of Dart Monkeys. They lose one. It's actually going to be a very, very valuable player.
Teleport's ready.
It's still waiting around. Maybe the peek comes through. It's going to be Grimoire wide swinging, maybe just a bit too fast. This isn't the map of Fracture, so the comfort definitely doesn't seem like it's there. Autumn
30 seconds
waiting
left.
around the side, and I think they heard.
Ooh. Still very even trades, and now it's Null Command at the very end. Gives away her own position, but still. Now in a 2v2 as everything tries to even things out.
Deploying drone.
Nice drone from Avery. Oh, and this is great. The Hunter's Fury comes out in perfect time. Eos has to find a way out of this. Summertime actually continuing the aggression. Although that pressure is already being forced by that Hunter's Fury. Eos Knowing that there's possibly one coming down inside of garage. But having a slow, they don't use it. They don't utilize anything in their kit to be able to at least give themselves more of that advantage. And Avery peeks around and takes this 1-3.
Oh, that's unfortunate as well, because if you had that slow on the stairs, you don't get swung there by Avery and are able to take the fight with Summertime in main. But that was the showcase of the two newest members of Dart Monkeys, Avery and Summertime. Just together, lots of teamwork there. Dart Monkeys taking their third round. Tactical Throwers, though, they have an eco ultimate here. They have Kaya's Tour de Force, and Satyr also has that showstopper, not quite an eco ultimate in the way that you see it being used by Jet and Neon or Chamber, but you can still get a lot of kills with only a pistol when you do have that showstopper in hand. Now it's looking like early aggression towards that B main, trying to get some info whether these players are here. Turret is actually placed in a really good spot, so they don't spot it, and they don't see anyone trying to get onto the site. Kaya's just posted up in B main now.
Yeah, the rotation here is big. But the thing is that Tactor is already on the A site, so have a lot of players watching down inside of tree. Astra sitting and waiting for the util to be used, but some of that quietness takes place. Avery giving some information away. I'd be more afraid to see if Kurosu can actually, get themselves in the back of sight. Nice from Autumn. Takes out Story in the back of sight. Gives Kurosu a little bit more room to kind of play with, but the most unfortunate thing is going to be if they can stay alongside that catwalk.
Oh, I like how they switch around their plant spots as well. They planted that one all the way on the right side of site. They have Autumn and Summertime just backing off into main, while only a few of their players are still playing the site. And Tactical Throwers in 3v5 now. They also have the Tour de Force in hand, which is basically their only big weapon here. And that's a really hard weapon to retake with Gompers. Ooh. Summertime with the replay.
Oh, and this is beautiful. 2 bullets needed to clutch things. Nobody knows and watches the back. So it leads to Dart Monkeys taking advantage of the space once again, and this is what they do. This is what they're accustomed to.
I mean, Dart Monkeys, just the game sense from this team. Mechanics are obviously always so strong with all of these players, but it's the fact that they have the sense to go around, reflank, take that space, make sure to shut down that retake before it even starts, and it just completely closes off any clutch potential for Tactical Throwers in that round. And now but this time they're still in a better position than they were when we were on Fracture. They already have a single round under their belt. They have their economy up, they have guns in this round, and they have 3 ultimates. So they should be able to get a little bit more headway, but that was a flawless round from Dart Monkeys. They need to damage their economy somehow. For Dart Monkeys, if they build up too much, even a round win isn't going to matter. They're still going to be going up against full rifles, have to do it all again.
They pick a very interesting spot to execute over towards B. Hitting mid, they know there's at least a trip being put forward for him, watching the back lines, making sure that maybe something will come through, but no, they whip out the weapon instead. They don't even peek to clear.
That might have been an accident. I'm not sure what's happening there, but I think just didn't expect Satyr to have walked up so far. Now the info is there. Go for the rotation towards that B site because of that 0 point, but they're still trying to clear out main. They don't want to get pinched here.
No, but no pinch is going to happen. Here, at least for Tac Throwers, it seems like good for Summertime because they managed to get the null command with the dropping of that spike. But here it is, Eos getting a headshot down. It doesn't matter. They get the resurrection off of Juna, but will Juna survive long enough to make it work? No, it's 6 health left. There is going to be a null command out. Avery takes advantage of the situation. But Kaya in a good position. If anybody peeks out, this is going to be dangerous, but the drone actually giving away that information. Hey, the op is there.
What are they doing?
Peek with the flash. I think they're just saying hello at this point.
Well, they got a lot of info between these two, Summertime and Avery. They have the 0 point just pinging things out. So it's just got the recon drone, and they're just both waiting. They're both daring each other to peek. Kaya fires a single shot, but the time is too low. Wants to get out of there with the op, and just retreats there. Dart Monkeys to 5, and it's looking like a possible 6th as well. Tactical Throwers no longer having the economy, but still Nightfall, still Cosmic Divide, and still that showstopper. Unfortunately, though, it was a 6v5 in that round because of that resurrection, and they were still unable to win it out.
A gift.
Kaya with the up can be proven worthy. I'm surprised that we're not seeing some very, very aggro, like, push towards B to try to see what's coming out on the outside, because that early information is huge for the team about trying to play around mid, even though Dart Monkeys don't really like the mid control.
Yeah, Dart Monkeys seem to ignore mid a lot more, while Tactical Throwers place a lot of emphasis on it. I mean, you have Kurosu looking pizza basically every single round, checking if spawn is open and trying to get that rotation cut off. But other than that, they don't really have aren't really dedicating too many players towards it, except for this round, where Kaya has an operator and Kurosu just peeks right into our crosshairs.
Good from Kaya. The patience ended up playing out smoothly, even though they didn't know where they were. The rotation getting caught out in the middle of it as well is great for Dart Monkeys. They managed to take out the jet, leaving no duelists for the entry.
I got the spike. Recalling my bot.
They're looking back towards that A site now, the Nebula, to stall them out a bit. And from the shadows for Grimoire, now up, and they also have this lockdown. This one, unfortunately, doesn't clear out the entirety of the site, though. There's still that little corner on that right side of A, but there's no one sitting there, luckily for them. And the front of the shadows going out. Starry, though, not the judge!
Spike down A. Last player standing. 10 seconds left.
Unfortunate, 10 seconds left. Still, though, okay, nice from Grim. They have to pick up the spike and put it down immediately. No time to waste, but it doesn't matter. They know what's going to happen here in a 1v2. They sit back and wait around the paint shell to close things off and to maybe possibly take Grimoire out, but not going to.
Ooh, that was a huge shot through the floor of heaven. But Grimoire lives to see another day. Tactical Throwers are able to dismantle Dart Monkeys off the fact that they had a judge on Starry just sitting in the corner, and they definitely weren't prepared to deal with the shotgun there. And the fact that they were just waiting a little bit too long, looking mid without taking any space or getting any info, and then they plan to execute with the lockdown, but they don't know what's going to be on the site for them right as soon as that lockdown goes off.
Yeah, not play. That doesn't go well from Kaya. And if Kaya had continued to just force some pressure here, maybe they would have been able to secure one. Juna too blind to be able to see anything, and that's going to be a pick of their own. To each their own. Dart Monkeys and Tac Throwers. At least the spike being planted.
They have really no way to get off the site, though. Seder not directly peeking into main just yet, but otherwise they're just all forced to play on this tiny corridors, and with the showstopper available, that can be such a dangerous game.
How dangerous is what Seder's gonna pull here. If they play together, this could actually come through. EOS takes a 2K and one more left. The teleport comes down. They manage to run themselves back around and possibly could get one through the wall. Yeah, a wall bang that's ready and prepared, but a beautiful wall to be able to execute through. If they get this out, they try to get the headshot down, but it's Grim with the peek through.
Oh my gosh, that was close from Grim. I think Grim had the comms from the teammates. They were all yelling, yeah, she's low, she's low. Even if she heals, one right click with the classic, that should be enough to do her in. And then Tactical Throwers, they are still sitting on 2, but Dart Monkeys, they are already up to 6 and a possible 7th. Starry has the judge once again in her hands, and that can be a deadly weapon, as has been proven before against Dart Monkeys. So as long as it is used well, they might be able to actually net themselves a thrifty here. But oh, that's an interesting angle from Grimoire, staring right into A main, making sure there's no info being gathered by Tactical Throwers.
Yeah, but as they push up, they don't know who's holding close. It's going to be Juna sitting alongside the Astra here, and once Juna gets the pick, probably going to put out a Prowler to push back these players so they don't continue the execution forward. Is Kurosu going to find it, though, first? Oh, no. It's Juna, and that's such a nice play. Starry sits down patient, gets the second one down, and if they continue to execute here, I don't even think they know that Starry's going to be here. Tries to get another one before they manage to get down, but still the refrags come down.
Well, now a 3v3 situation. They need to clear out the site first, but Summertime's actually going to try and go aggressive, clear out their spawn. The flash drive gives them the sound cue that someone's there, but it's actually a double flank. If you watch them, they are both coming in from behind. Grimoire has that from the shadows available, maybe looking for some info in main, but instead they're trying to fight Kaya in market.
The fight. Summertime wins out one. A lot more to be won. Of course, they have a showstopper that maybe Seder can use, peeking around the corner. EOS getting shot down. And there it is, the first one. A lot more needed. Oh, through the wall. It's beautiful from Dart Monkeys. No pressure. Even though the pressure's there, they continue to not fold.
I feel like Summertime and Avery are just the clutch masters of this map. Every time they're the last two standing, without fail, they have clutched every single time. And it's just the amount of info that can be gathered. You don't shoot out that recon dart fast enough, you're going to get pinged. And just one ping on Ascent is basically deadly because so much of Ascent is wallbangable. And especially on that B site right through the boathouse, you don't need to be going for those direct peaks as long as you have a Sova on your side or even a fade. And now Juna just getting so much utility thrown at her on this side.
Yeah, Kurosu pulling out the blade storm to get more aggressive. If anything, Juna gets taken down, which is nice. Managing to find the first one is going to be huge because it is going to be the site hold that is no longer present. Still. Oh, Grim. No, there's no way.
Kaya knew. Kaya had her back. And now Cosmic Divide coming out blocking off lane. This is nice. They don't have to worry about the main push.
Oh, and the way they're bobbing and weaving out of this ultimate is great for Dart Monkeys. Look at that. They utilized that so well. It should have been mostly, I guess, a detriment here for Tactors, and it was, but Dart Monkeys just utilized it so well.
Throwers was really just trying to block off that push from main. They knew that they had to swing that front site, and in order to gain control, they were trying to use the Astra, but unfortunately, it just didn't work in their favor because they were just able to weave in and out of it. And since Tac Throwers doesn't have any flashes of their own, Dart Monkeys is able to use that flash drive to its fullest potential, especially through smokes, right? Because that flash drive is just so important for the fact that it is able to be thrown, unlike the breach flash, which needs to be bounced off the wall. Sky, Phoenix, and KO, their strength in their flashes is the fact that they are able to just pop out of these walls and these smokes, and that cosmic divide just wasn't enough for them.
Yeah, it's as well as just, I don't know, it feels like a lot of the Angels are being won out by Dart Monkeys, and overall, that is pretty dangerous. I mean, you let a team get as many frags as they are, the confidence starts to arise, and it kind of feels like, I don't know, a map pick that came over for Tac Throwers and going this way. Maybe they're owing them a little bit too much respect. I feel like they need to let loose a little bit. And once again, just have some pressure. It's gonna work out in the end.
Yeah, they should be able to get themselves at least one round on the defense as well, considering they're once again running the double sentinel. They have the info coming from coming from the Fade, and they also have this Astra who's able to recall stars, place setups on the go, and then Raze can get that info like an initiator and also do damage while she's at it, and still have that power to go for the movement and explosive entries on or re-entries on the retakes. But it just seems like they're struggling really hard. I feel like if they do go for a little bit more mid control once again, they might be able to catch Dart Monkeys off guard, since mid is something that is usually uncontested by them. They'll make sure they're not being flanked from mid, but they never really try and take control of it or enter through mid.
Yeah, mid isn't the first place that Dart Monkeys likes to go. They occasionally try to rotate through there. You can see at least one player here from Takthor is trying to have her vision over towards tiles. Possible push through and a suppression. So there's only one player left in the back of sight, and it is going to be Boathouse that maybe Kurosu has to be able to clear. But if they don't, this is going to be difficult to imagine.
Okay, Juna doesn't know what's going on. They now know there is a Bucky back there, and Juna walks out. Kurosu just takes her down, and Dart Monkeys, they're all on the site this time except for Avery. That's a little bit scary, since you have just like such a small crowded space. There's not that many angles, but luckily they do have some movement agents, so they can get on top of these and get a higher vantage point. But otherwise, there's just like literally they don't have the high ground.
No, not even then, but nice information. A paint shell to try to clear out the back and maybe get some damage. Story finds one with a classic because of that paint shell, but it's not over yet. Avery annihilates majority of the players. A nice headshot through and a spray down within the smoke to see EOS down below. But 9-2, Dart Monkeys once again. Just like, this kind of feels like an iteration of last time. Dart Monkeys having such a significant lead.
Yeah, and this time it's on the attacking half as well, which I don't find unsurprising since they run such aggressive team compositions. But it's also the fact that this is Tactical Throwers map pick. I feel like this should be their preferred side, but maybe on the attack, that double sentinel might be able to actually get a little bit more value, considering the fact that you block off key angles and are able to slow swings from the attackers with Sage instead of trying to slow pushes. And now Dart Monkeys, they are looking to get into mid for once. They're actually looking to take control of market from this mid angle.
Yeah, it looks nice. Oh, this is what I wanted to see. The impressions looking great from Kaya. The first pick is going to be off Brimmore. So the smoke's down, and this is big. The smokes, the duelist. What can they work off now? Of course, the Wadham. Finding one for Dart.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Kurosu because I feel like they've been judged so many times during this game. Like, no cap. I feel like I watched them get judged like a few rounds in a row.
Yeah. Oh no. They found Satyr. They know Satyr's within market. And now the null command comes out to kind of add salt into the wound as well, which is dangerous. Avery waiting. They don't even know where Avery is, but maybe so now. Everybody peeking out in due time, and tack throwers. They take out the lockdown. They take out majority of the players from Dart Monkeys, and they get the defusal through.
Did I caster curse them? I said every single time, Summertime and Avery are the last two players alive. They clutch without fail. And now, 9-3. I mean, they used everything they possibly could in order to get this last round in. And Dart Monkeys, they end up not securing the double digits at the end of this half. So that gives a little bit more wiggle room for tack throwers now on the attack to be able to get a little bit more headway into this round.
Winning this fifth round would be great for tack throwers, but if Dart Monkeys take this, we can already imagine a possible 11-3 that could come through. So this is the most important round for tack throwers so far. Will they be able to give themselves that momentum to get themselves back up? Quite possibly 5-9. Or will they give things away?
Now, let's see. Can they close this gap just a little bit more so they have this 4-round buffer instead of, I actually cannot do math, 6. Kurosu hiding in a corner. Ooh, these frags coming out, Gompers. Dart Monkeys on top.
Eagles having the heal is going to be great. Giving themselves more power to force themselves through the A site. A TP below, but there's so many players left alive, left standing for Dart Monkeys that it seems almost impossible.
This is tough once again for tactical throwers because they're already at such a huge disadvantage, and now you have a one-way smoke being thrown by Grimoire. You still have this player hiding in a corner, posted up with a Killjoy turret right next to them, and ooh, actually Kurosu does go down, but it's a Killjoy site. You decide to keep pushing the Killjoy site. Sometimes that's just what happens to you.
It'll happen again and again and again, as many times as it needs to for Dart Monkeys. 10-3, Tala. And this is insane for a team like Dart Monkeys, for a map that goes over to tac throwers, a map that they would feel comfortable in. Coming from a stomp within the last game on Fracture, it feels like something is out of place, or maybe it's just the roster change that feels so good for Dart.
Honestly, I think being able
Right there.
to have Autumn sit back on that Sentinel once in a while and just take the chamber completely out of the mix in some of these team compositions looks really good for them, because you don't have that dedicated Sentinel player. Instead, you have these players that are a little bit more like flexes. So Avery plays the Sova and the chamber, Autumn plays the Fade, and the KJ. You get them to play a little bit more into their comfort picks, and you can switch things around a little bit more instead of having one person who is always playing a single agent, with the exception, I think, of Grimoire on the smokes and Kurosu on the duelist.
Patience is key. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the Prowler to open things up is definitely going to be the way to continue around. Autumn only needing a couple picks left to be able to get the lockdown, so if they manage to find more than one here, it would actually be pretty grand. Nope, some damage though, which is great. A lot of damage on tactics.
Yeah, but you also have the Sage who is able to heal, but the damage on Starry, oh my gosh, actually that turret comes back up. They didn't destroy it because they had the 0 point, right?
One enemy remaining.
But now, this is just so good for Dart Monkeys. Once again, up to 11. And Gompers, it feels like Dart Monkeys are kind of running away with this map as well.
They're gonna keep going as far as they can, but this is an equal buy that can come out. So the Vandals now into this buy round. Dart Monkeys investing in some of the Vandals of their own. I thought I saw a Vandal on a bar. No, they're fully saving. This is the best bet for them. But Summertime having the most, I guess, viable chance of trying to rid a Vandal out of the hands of tac throwers.
And getting rid of a Vandal would be huge here. Since they have two players with pistols, just picking one up. Every single one of these players have the chance to frag out, and they're using Kurosu now to get aggressive in tiles. I really like this play, but it's met no resistance. You have all 4 of Dart Monkeys, and then one rotating and anchoring this A site.
There's only one person left on the site. Autumn's trying to fight for something down within tree. He quite possibly. Yes, it's not looking good. Tac throwers, though, what's looking good is the chance that they take things back, but a flank from Kurosu, a possible Vandal in their hands. No, they saw the one. If they come through now, they could get the headshot. Sorry, really, really quick with the repositioning. The 4v2 Dart Monkeys not having the numbers.
Last player
Have
standing.
only the Sheriff players left over, and picking up Guardian, maybe. No, Satyr just hops up. And Tactical Throwers and Dart Monkeys, they're keeping themselves in the game. They're keeping Dart Monkeys off match point, and they also only lose one player. So that Vandal isn't just so far-fetched for this team. They're able to buy for the teammate, and all of them, once again, Vandals across the board. Dart Monkeys, they have the money to buy back in as well. And this time, it's going to be an even gun buy for the most part, save for one Guardian on Summertime.
Once again, bringing out the Odin. I don't know if you saw that. It was the last second buy. I'm not sure from who. Definitely the Sova.
It's
over on
probably
B,
the
yeah.
Sova.
It probably is the Sova. It's always the Sova.
Why wouldn't it be the Sova?
It's a great question. But as we find out, B site definitely not the way you want to go down, especially in an 11-4 type of round.
Seder did spot Grimoire there. I was curious, wondering whether she actually spotted the little hood of that Omen. It seems like she did, and now is looking towards that ace B site. The Odin spray going through, and now 2 players stacked up in both house toppers.
Oh, and you thought the Odin was going to work. A lockdown down in the back of site. Autumn trying to clutch things up just in enough time to be able to get the lockdown, but it doesn't come through, which doesn't help Dart Monkey's case. Tuna closing things out with a 5-11. And Dart Monkeys, they cannot find the momentum that they used to have before.
Yeah, Dart Monkeys now on the defense. They're struggling a little bit after those first 2 rounds, but then again, it only has been 2 rounds, and they still have a 6-round buffer between tactical throwers tying things up. It's about to become a 5-round buffer, though, since they only have shorties and sheriffs in the hands, and I'm not sure if they really have any sort of strategy to pull out here that can equalize the numbers. And on the other side, tactical throwers, they have... Oh, I forgot about the Blade Storm. But it's already been neutralized by the gravity well, forcing them to slow down their push.
They found my trap.
Working over 2B. This is dangerous for Autumn. They don't even see yet. No, Kaya finds one. B site completely clear, though. We can see the Cosmic Divide dividing up pretty much the extremities of the site here.
Yeah, there's no one really just hiding in any corners. They're all going up from market, and most of them have shorties as well, so it's not going to be surprising. Gross is their only hope, and is immediately dismantled.
Last player standing. Flawless.
Okay. This is good out of top throwers. I mean, 6-11. They're taking things back. This is 100% winnable. Maybe just the fact that they maneuvered themselves over towards that attacking side, maybe this was the most comfortable side for them.
And now tactical throwers and Dart Monkeys. Now we have a null command available for summertime. Not really close to that lockdown at all. Yeah, it's just that one ultimate that's going to be available, and I feel like this is a very important retake ultimate to shut down any of that utility that might be going out to stop that retake. There's the Nightfall as well. Not sure if the null command is popped. In order to try and save Autumn on the site, they use that null command, and now Grimoire is thinking that they still might be in garage, but no, they're just repositioning all the way out into mid. Grosu not able to hit the shots.
No shots hit. A side completely cleared up for Tactors to take. And Dart Monkeys, once again, on that same struggle that they were on before. Things changed, and I guess Tactor's confidence just really started to arise. I said they were owing them a lot more respect than needed before, but I think they've completely gotten rid of that. Aver moving back over towards B to save up this rifle.
Yeah, they're not even going to try in a 2v5 situation. They just don't have the utility. And Seder, thinking that they might still be coming, chucking a nade, but still, they used the 2 ultimates in order to get onto that site. Or was it just the Nightfall there, and then they go for the quick rotation as they take down mid. But tactical throwers, they seem a lot more comfortable on this attack. You're definitely right there. And Dart Monkeys, they're struggling a little bit. Some of it might be owed to the fact that their team composition really just made for that aggression. Killjoy might be able to anchor some of these sites down, but she can only be in one place at once, and usually you don't want to try and put an entire setup on a single site because you don't want to use all of those nano swarms and the alarm bot right before the round has even started, so you have no utility for the retake unless that lockdown is available.
And this is the last, I guess I would say, viable round to buy. No, they're not buying, actually. A save round to come through. Avian Autumn saving the weapons within the last round, but things just are slipping away slowly but surely. I don't even know if Autumn is allowed to buy within the next round, but doesn't matter. Takthrower is looking very, very good on the attacking half.
Now very slowly starting from tactical throwers to look towards both of these sites. Dart Monkeys, I feel like if they do go for a little bit more aggression on their gun rounds, they should be able to win out at least a few of these fights, but they're playing a little bit more timid now. I feel is the right word for this, that they're just being a little bit shy with their aggression. Zader's not shy at all though.
Oh no. And the fact that they weren't able to see, they knew they had to at least expend some of that ultimate. Takthrower's finding tons and tons of picks of their own, clearing up the site beautifully. In Autumn now, doesn't have a lot of economy to play with. They need to at least get one and possibly fix things up. Yep, the first one is fine. They at least fixed up the eco just a bit to be able to afford more within the next round.
And now that's a really tough situation. Hard shot to hit as well for both these players. Zader in a 1v2 though goes for the trade, and Dart Monkeys, they actually have to go for their first tack time out here in order to try and figure out what's going on with this defensive half. I mean, that last round was good. It was a bit of a fractured buy, but they were all able to find at least a few trades and picks and even it up to a 2v1 for Autumn, who was a little late coming in trying to recall all the util from the B site. But now it is just really tough here to try and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I think overall too, what's worrying is that it's only 2 more rounds until they take this 2-0. And if they give off to a third map, then things could get really risky. They could give tactical throwers another opportunity to be able to take this home and quite possibly be able to make it to that finals. And for Dart Monkeys, that's a very big no-no. So I think definitely continuously fighting, to fix the economy. And I feel like that should have been their first goal. Fix the eco first, and then try your best to be able to get those force rounds in there. But very unfortunate to see that they couldn't manage themselves. But Takthrower is doing really good on the retakes. Being able to now take things, like 11-7 and closing things out and closing that gap is a very, very uneasy feat to beat.
And now going back into the game, let's see what Dart Monkeys have discussed in the past few rounds, or the past minute, that might be able to net them a few more rounds. Looking like they have Korotsu postured up in B Garage, which is going to allow them for a little bit more space over on B. Tackle throwers, though, they're still playing very slow, very respectful, in a sense that they're not trying to push too far. It seems like that Nebula going out into mid, trying to force a rotate, draw some players away. But Dart Monkeys aren't biting. They're being very, very disciplined, playing very safe.
And the safe play works. And I think this is what they needed. Too long, too heavy were they playing before, and sometimes heavy doesn't really feel too good. Yeah, but I like this. The information is going to get drawn out down in mid if they manage to go a little bit further. But no, going over towards tree. Nothing there. But still, having enough reinforcements.
30 seconds left.
They're playing very, very slow. Seems like that B main play isn't going to be executed, but still the paranoia to delay. They're trying to whittle down the time now, Gompers.
Yeah, as time goes down, it's 13 seconds, and this is good because Grimoire could actually stop the plant from coming down. You know that the plan is completely being succeeded through. There's the second one for Grimoire. Before the 3 seconds left, Kaya managing to find things, but it's 1 second, and it's up to Dart Monkeys to take things back. And it looks so good. It's the timing that didn't work that time, and the patience that they had was, just really up to par.
I mean, tactical throwers, they also made it so low on the time. I think they really expected some kind of rotation to be made for the defenders to be antsy enough to move around a little bit. And I feel like maybe they are just a little bit scared off the back of the tac timeout as well. Not really sure what Dart Monkeys is pulling out for this round. And there really wasn't any
You
map
want to
control
play?
or
Let's
space
play.
taken from the fact they were literally just waiting, and then they have to re-clear mid as they slowly walk towards that A site when they decide on an execute.
The pressure is 100% on. I can't even imagine the lengths of which their mental has gone. Mid still. Having the Killjoy alarm bot is good for Dart Monkeys for that information. It seems like generally Saber might get caught out.
Aya with the tour de force looking towards B. It's still this B main play. It hasn't gotten to be executed last round, but let's see what Kurosa's got this time.
Spike down B.
Yeah, not a lot. Seder in Story finding their own back in Boathouse. Nice from Story. Grimoire taken down. And they know that Avery, no, they don't understand that Avery's back of sight. If they manage to play this correctly, things could go well. No, the first one there, the smoke hasn't dissipated as of yet. Summertime pulling out the blind. But the timing wasn't perfect. Instead it was
30 seconds
way
left.
less than that. Good utility. Doesn't find one, although. And it's just better utility coming out from Jack Throwers. 9 to 12 is great, but there's still so much of a gap.
And still 3 rounds in between. Match point for Dart Monkeys. They're taking out the Stinger, the good old Stinger once again, while Summertime and Grimoire are able to buy into the Vandals once again. I mean, this is a really, really tough call from Dart Monkeys, since they want to know, should we just force and try to close it out, or should we wait one more round, let them get double digits, and go to the next round? Once they're at 10-12, we close it out 13-10, or try to at the very least. But Dart Monkeys, look at this on their eco. They're doing impressive.
Pushing in towards mid, something that we don't necessarily see a lot of the time. I feel like they've stopped with the patience and started going for the impatient types of plays. But it does seem like they're on somewhat of a half buy. Kurosu gets taken down in mid. At least 2 more players left standing for Dart Monkeys.
And they're just going to go for the rotations back towards that B site instead of Killjoy sitting on that A site with all of her utility, now wanting to go back to the other side of the map. And they're still being diligent, clearing all of these angles while Dart Monkeys slow walks towards that spot.
Not enough bottom. The bottom manages to find Seder. Things could be good. No!
Player standing.
Didn't even see it, but it doesn't matter. Story sitting within garage, finding their own, taking out these players, eliminating everybody that comes within sight, and it's 10 to 12 tack throwers. Look how many rounds in a row that they managed to retrieve.
Not a single round by Dart Monkey, or not a single player by Dart Monkeys at all. And tactical throwers are just crawling back to the light with now 3 ultimates available, and even an operator now being pulled out by Dart Monkeys from Kurosu, who also has that Blade Storm, and the Lockdown and the Hunter Siri all available. I mean, this is a really, really good start, but Kurosu getting smoked off. They actually push out of the smoke. Summertime using the 0 point to try and find some info. Knife is destroyed. They know there's at least one is there. That doesn't really mean much. However, Seder sticking to the Sheriff for this round, at least having that one player who is such an impact fragger as well for tactical throwers out of the mix, can make it a little easier for Dart Monkeys.
And back to playing that patience game, but Dart Monkeys having the op is actually something I wanted to talk about prior. This is going to be good. An elimination on the board with that op
I have the spike.
is going to change the game up for Dart Monkeys, possibly bring them to that 13-10 that they're looking for. But Kurosu has to be patient. They have to wait for the peak. The first peak comes out, they miss it, and this is going to be huge, leaving it up to Summertime to take things back. But no, Kurosu, the patience has run thin. Now they're scared.
Ooh, spam down as well. Summertime, it's just a little bit of a miss as well.
30 seconds left.
And now Kurosu has to back all the way off. But still, this is how Dart Monkeys won their last round.
I think they might be able to manage it again, but I don't know. I mean, Kurosu had it off. The first one there, they managed to find it. There was a second one, but will they get it? There's 12 seconds left. Everybody coming around the backside. Are you fast enough to be able to get something up in the air? There it is, the second shot there, but not being able
Standing.
to completely seek it out.
Kill my ally.
Grimoire left alone, left standing. Now the Phantom in hand, but 3 players down within both houses, and they all peek diligently. And 11 to 12. We might actually take this to OT.
Tactile throwers, they are slowly, round after round, they keep getting more. And that last round, they used 3 ultimates in order to get themselves back in. Dart Monkeys were able to use both the Lockdown and the Blade Storm, as well as the Hunter's Fury, and still lose. So this is just such a tough position for them. They're on a save buy as well, I believe. They don't have much money. They're trying to force as much as they can. But otherwise, I think it's going to be mostly light shields and stingers for this Dart Monkeys squad, and I don't know if they got anything left in their playbooks for this one.
No, I would assume not. I think the patience before worked out really well for Dart Monkeys that one round, just waiting and playing in all these cheeky angles, but it seems like they're playing the retake over on A. Especially possibly because Satyr does have that showstopper, so they need fast exit. I think the lack of chamber as well kind of has that lack of aggression that isn't punishable. Do you understand what I mean? Like the TP that could come through, pushing out of B site or pushing out in A and getting these early picks and peaks are so great for that information, but Dart Monkeys just lack that entirely.
Yeah, I mean, you could have that Jet try and go for the early engagements, but with the tailwind, it's just so unpredictable, and that early aggression on the defense is really just Chamber's forte. Now Grim, I don't know, maybe this were lucky to do it, you know?
Yeah, I think so as well. Oh no. Okay. The showstopper reference there. Run away if you can, but no, they can't even turn around. Avery trying to get the shock dart just in case. Maybe it takes them out. Maybe they can avoid it, but they don't. The flash comes through. EOS doesn't even know that they're still peeking. And Corrosive manages to find it. There it is. Satyr taking a 3K in their own under their name. Autumn. Although I'm the judge. I don't know if this peak is actually going to be diligent enough. The spike completely down.
no
One more
way.
for Autumn, but it's not there. And Starry takes it to the OT.
Yeah, you can tell Starry's
Overtime.
celebrating that one. Now on the defense, Starry takes out an Odin?
Yeah.
Question mark. I thought that was actually going to come through, but it seems like Dart Monkeys and Tack Throwers, they're going to stick to the good old rifles across the board.
Man, I don't know. What do you think? What could we see change?
I mean, for Dart Monkeys, their attack, it's fine. Their attack is incredibly strong, and Tactical Throwers, for the most part, haven't been able to find any sort of answer to that and in each of these games. But for the defense, I feel like they're just making the wrong reads. They want to go aggressive on the rounds where they Tac Throwers is just literally sitting in spawn waiting for it. And now Satyr going for the aggression. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, but still, 1-for-1 is great. Attack Throwers 3-2. Okay, nice from Grimoire, taking Starry's life. Peeking around the back. They're slowly getting, not really a sandwich in, but look at the diligence. Withholding this mid angle, but still, they have the mid. They don't know that the spike has been completely picked up. They didn't even know it was there.
Shadows traveling.
Oh, this is tough. They're going back towards A. That's where the trademark is. And Grimoire, determined to get that spike plant down and then maybe go for an ultimate. But after making a bit of noise, they're actually looking back towards mid. They're trying to catch them off guard.
I don't know if the mid play is the best to go for. They don't even know that either. The only
30
person
seconds left.
even generally close to their ultimate is going to be Grimoire here. 30 seconds left to get the spike down. And this is 30 seconds to fight for the site, to get the spike down, to put your post-plant positionings into action. Will they be able to do so in enough time? Look at that. The chamber util as well on the A site. So that information going to come through clear.
They definitely knew
10
it was
seconds
there.
left.
Grimoire with the shrouded step up to the site. Not sure if there's still a shrouded step left over. Oh, Avery's position though, finding two. Even though Grimoire goes down, Dart Monkeys once again their attack. It's able to
Switching
find
sides.
another. Now on the defense,
Yeah.
you need to play disciplined.
One more. And the defense was the biggest detriment for Dart Monkeys because if you remember clearly, the attacking side was great. It was unpunishable for them to get aggressive. If anything, the aggressions worked out best. There, they played a little slowly, which is why things almost actually went awry, but positioning worked out. Now, what needs to happen is look at the up. This is great for the A site.
But tack throwers almost never go for early aggression, ever. They literally just wait to see if someone's going to push them. But actually that knife finds a bit of info, some kind of nerdy lineup from summertime there in order to find some of the players, and that means Kurosu can just sit pretty now. Doesn't prime the dash though.
Oh no, I think the patience would have worked out better. Just waiting for the peek through. He managed to let an elbow slip, but Kurosu, that first pick would have been detrimental. That would have actually held back that push that might possibly come through. Now we're going to be able to see a Prowler come out. Yep, the first pick, maybe. The toes getting completely
leg.
scathed. But it's still not working for Kurosu. They peek through. Kurosu finds the one. Everybody on the site. Grimoire taking two of their own. And a 2v2 situation. Tack throwers. Is this it? Are they going to give things up?
Ooh, that one ping from the recon. It's Summertime and Avery. These clutch masters. Summertime finds one. 1v2 now. No spike.
No
30
need for
seconds
the
left.
spike yet. The 30 seconds. Back throwers down in
Defenders
seconds.
win.
And the execution was great. But I guess overall it was the util that was lacking in that last round. Still though, Dart Monkeys 2-0.
How are the two of you feeling? I know for a second I was so nervous
I
watching
think
that match
Saki
going
might
into
be
overtime.
muted.
And hi there. Hi. I know you couldn't hear me earlier, but I was telling everybody how nervous I was watching this match going into overtime. Dart Monkeys, they dominated on Fracture. But then once we went into Ascent, it was kind of iffy there. We saw tactical throwers not ready to give up whatsoever. And I know the tactical throwers supremacy, they're going crazy right now. What do you have to say about this, Gompers?
I think it was good. I think they let themselves go a little on the defense, but you know, you make mistakes, you move on from them. Definitely working on the defense on Ascent would be the best bet. I don't know. The composition for defense just doesn't work out as well as it did on the attack, but that's why they started on the attack. On the other hand, to kind of rack up those rounds because they knew what was going to happen otherwise. But overall, it was definitely it was a hard game to kind of watch overall. I mean, you just didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, and I definitely thought going into overtime when there were 3 in Boathouse, that would have been the chance for Dart Monkeys to just wrap it up there. But no, tactical throwers, they weren't ready to give anything up just yet. And just because they're in the lower brackets, it just shows how important this win could mean for them. Epitomes, did you have any favorite plays going into this match?
I definitely think that very first round when Autumn was able to get the clutch at the beginning and try to set things up for success. And then I think of the rest of it was just tack throwers doing so much for their team, like just so much teamwork. It wasn't really individual set plays, but the way that they knew they had to use their utility and they're going to benefit off that. You would have Satyr double satcheling over someone's head and then they'd be like, oh god, where is this raise going to land? Run out into the open, and then someone's always ready for the swing and to get the frag, and that was just really nice from tack throwers, especially on Ascent.
And that's the movement I wish I have whenever I play Valorant. What do you think made Dart Monkeys dominate so well against tactical throwers, Gompers?
Overall, man, that's a hard one to be honest with you. It just kind of felt like they were just really overpowering on the attack. And that's really where they got most of their momentum from. The defense was very, very risky. They took it to OT. They knew they could win the attacking side at least. It was definitely a risk on some parts, but overall, I would say more so not really lucky, but that last round it just kind of fell apart for tactical throwers, and honestly, tactical throwers could have won that one and ran with the momentum. So I think more so just the attacking side really helped that Dart Monkeys more than anything.
Right, and I'm taking a look right now at the match history from last
Yep.
match, 12 to 14. Satyrs with 4 first bloods, 311 average combat score. Tell me a little bit more about these two duelists on top, Satyr and Kurosu.
I definitely think that Satyr, we've seen her play the Jet before, and it isn't really a question of who is the better duelist here, but it might be a question of which is the better agent. And I think Satyr really turns up on top of that because of the fact that she has damaging utility, can clear out those angles, doesn't need to secure the frag to get that little ticks on the combat score, but it's also the fact she wasn't afraid to go in with the double satchels. But on the other hand, Kurosu was always on the aggressive, and the team was always right behind them. They were always right behind with the flash points, with any type of utility that they could, and that's why you see Kurosu with so many first bloods there, because they're always trying to get that first pick off, especially on that attacking side, not afraid to literally aggress into the enemy spawn in order to start those engagements. So that is really the core differences, I think, between what we saw from both Satyr and Kurosu, but both of them played extremely well on both these maps.
And there we are seeing two double initiators on Dart Monkey with Avery on Sova and Summertime on KO with 14 assists for the both of them. Gompers, tell me a little bit about how these initiators can support their team.
To support your team, I think the biggest thing is just get those flashes in. Like, literally all you have to do is set up the site for your duelist entry, set up your site for everybody to really clear the site, if anything. And it kind of felt like, of course, maybe things were lacking on that sense. Both sides did very, very well in the attack, so I don't necessarily have any complaints. I think more so just the defense that felt like it was lacking. Like, you know, of course you can play as the initiator on that defense, but the chamber pick was way better than what we saw, you know, for what we were seeing out of the composition out of Dart Monkeys. But that was more so because you could push out and get those first-hand picks. We could see that out of the Jet as well, but it didn't feel like I was seeing that aggression that I wanted to see.
Right, and do you think that there's anything tactical throwers could have done differently, Tala?
Well, I think tactical throwers in the overtime, they were just taken apart, and that happens. You lose some rounds, but because they weren't able to win that defensive half, it was unfortunate that that was how the game ended. But tactical throwers definitely had what it takes to take it to that third map, and I think they were very methodical, very patient, and just took it round by round, even when Dart Monkeys were sitting on match point. But I think maybe on Fracture, they could have done something to get a few more rounds, but they just were not prepared for the aggression, and you saw how they were very wary of that when they went on to Ascend. They spent a lot more time just sitting in their spawn waiting to see if someone was going to push up, and so they could get that early pick.
Right, and coming from the semifinals and going into grand finals, we will be seeing Dart Monkey versus one of the winners in upper brackets, which will be determined very soon. It will be either between Revival and Solaire. I want to hear it from you, Gompers, before we take a break here. Any predictions for Dart Monkey if they were to go up against Solaire?
Oh man, I think for predictions, I don't know. I'm thinking Dart Monkeys. They've been playing really well so far. They almost let the map go, but I think more so it was testing their limits and their mental. They kept it together, so that in itself is pretty impressive.
Right, and Epitomes, can you please answer this? If Dart Monkeys were to go up against Revival, what do you think that would be like?
Well, I think Revival, once again, we didn't get to see them on stream today, and I don't think we saw a lot of them yesterday either. So it's really hard to say what Revival is going to bring against this team, but we know that tactical throwers have gone up against Solaire before, and the last time Solaire were the ones to win over tactical throwers. And if Solaire does lose to Revival, I'm not really sure where this is going with this. I don't really think that Valorant is causal because anyone can beat anyone. You can beat one of the best teams and still lose to a worse team. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense there, but I think Revival, it's really a mystery if they go against Dart Monkeys, but Dart Monkeys obviously a very solid team, and they also do have a lot of VODs that you can review on them. They have a lot of ways you can counterplay, but because this is a newer roster, I think they definitely have that upper hand of being able to get an edge because you don't really know what's coming when you have these two new players.
Right, and they can definitely shape what the new meta is defined as, given that there's VODs online. But if a team were to go and study them, you wouldn't know what to expect, especially with that new roster, like you said, Tala. And again, these stakes are very high going into grand finals because this is over a prize pool of $1,500, 1,000 going to the first place winner, and 500 going to the second place winner here. But thank you so much, Tala Gompers. We will head into break here.